like, I just don't think that a man, first of all, it just creeps me out that they want to look at vaginas all day. And then secondly, like, a man knows absolutely nothing about being a woman, and so how can they really empathize with anything that's going on? I just always found it very creepy. But I really like my doctors there. I don't know. I just PSA to our listeners, you got to take care of yourself, get those preventative things done. I went to this skin cancer doctor last week and had a suspicious mole removed. It seems like every time I go, they take something off of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I prefer to go to male doctors. I prefer to go to like a gay doctor because they just more comfortable talking about sexual things.
Right.
But
I feel like
it's
you can
funny.
be more honest with them, probably.
Yeah, I 100%. And also, though, contrary to you, I prefer to go to gay male doctors because there's a chance that they might be creepy with me. Benefit.
Or find you attractive, and then they could break that patient confident, or that it's not confidentiality, but I'm sure there's something that you're not supposed to date your patients.
Some
But
code of ethics or whatever.
yeah,
But he's a
whatever.
doctor. He's got money. He's
Yes.
likely older than me. He's checking a lot of boxes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Maybe I
Just
should
for-
reconsider.
Yeah, right.
It's like, here's the goods right here.
Yeah.
You just get that out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. You know what you're in for.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I will go ahead and welcome you to Forbidden, the podcast where we discuss the disgusting, the dark, and the disgraceful, and our unmentionables, of course. That's right. We've slipped into something more comfortable. Hope you're doing the same, listener. Welcome. My name is Amanda Kamada.
And I am your creepy co-host, Blake Roberts.
You are a little creepy tonight, I have to say.
I am looking for creepy doctors, just all around feeling creepy. Well, we're kicking off our new limited series. Listener, this is Confession, our limited series that delves into true crime stories where faith takes a dark turn. We'll explore cases involving religious leaders and spiritual communities that hid sinister secrets behind their holy facades. So join us as we unravel the complex intersection of devotion and deception.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. I think that it's the perfect time of the year and the most religious season of the year, I dare say.
Yeah.
On both sides, you've got Christmas, you've got Hanukkah, you've got Kwanzaa, you've got a lot of different religions, focusing on the holiday season in some form or fashion. So, great way to end the year.
A lot of different religions coming together, but staying very much segregated and separate.
Yes.
Not really agreeing with each other too much.
Yes.
Or anyone else that doesn't fit their purview. But listen, I'm not here to throw stones.
Or are we?
I'm just here to drink some wine and tell you a fun story this evening.
Oh, I can't wait. Can you remind me what I know I've asked you twice what your hints are, and there's just no way that I could pair anything with it, really.
You wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
No. My hints to you for this week's episode are banana cream pie, oranges, and a vodka and apple juice cocktail.
Now, I did go vodka, but rather than doing that with apple juice, I am mixing it with a bubbling tonight. I believe this is a grapefruit version of it. So I did get the vodka in there. Apple juice just cannot do.
But you got vodka and fruit is all through this story. And
Yes.
I have grapes in my glass. So
yeah, so we're covered on the fruit.
we are. And then there's me. So plenty of fruit to go around for this podcast.
Yes.
Well, let me just get up in there and start with a name that we all recognize, Mr. Jerry Falwell.
Oh, yes.
So, for those listeners who are young or lived under a rock for the past 60 years, Jerry Falwell, a fundamentalist preacher and co-founder of the Moral Majority, played a significant role in re-engaging religious conservatives with politics in the 1970s and 1980s. Did you know he was friends with Hustler magazine's Larry Flynt?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so sorry, this is a little bit of a tangent, but I thought this was just a fun little fact to throw in there. They had this big lawsuit that dragged on through the 80s. It was like 5 years.
I remember in that Woody Harrelson, Courtney Love movie that they did about the people versus Larry Flynt. I remember that whole thing. So that's why I'm puzzled as to how they were friends.
Yeah, so I forget exactly what happened, but I think Hustler used to publish satire interviews, like fake interviews, but essentially, so they did one with Jerry Falwell,
Mm-hmm.
and they had some like nasty quotes in there about like the first time he had sex was with his mother. Yeah, I mean, it was like sort of it's like not honestly even that funny, but yeah, so he sued them for libel or whatever and went on
Mm-hmm.
for 5 years, but eventually, ultimately was overturned. This is not my story. I'm just telling you this. It got up to the Supreme Court and they shut it down because First Amendment protections or whatever. So, but eventually, Falwell reached out to Flint and asked him if he would go on Larry King Live with him. And so they appeared on Larry King Live, and I guess it was like it went fine.
Mm-hmm.
And they got sort of chummy, and they ended up doing a series of friendly debates at like colleges discussing morals and First Amendment rights.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. But I digress. So, born in Lynchburg, Virginia in 1933, Falwell experienced a religious awakening at 18 and went on to establish the Thomas Road Baptist Church, broadcasting his sermons through the Old Time Gospel Hour, which started in 1956.
Oh, that sounds like the most boring hour of my life.
Oh my God. Bring a book. Um, Initially, he shared the fundamentalist belief that religion and politics should remain separate. So kudos to that.
Yeah, progressive.
However, Falwell's stance shifted after the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision, of course, which legalized abortion. Influenced by theologian Francis Schaeffer, he began advocating for religious conservatives to enter politics to combat societal issues he saw as threats, such as the Equal Rights Amendment, homosexuality, pornography, and the women's liberation movement. Oh, women's libs is so evil.
Awful.
In 1979, with support from conservative and Republican strategists, Falwell co-founded the Moral Majority, a politically active organization credited with helping Ronald Reagan secure the presidency in 1980. Fantastic. Falwell toured the country to rally support, blending religious and patriotic themes. So let's just take a step back in time to March 25th, 1940, in Barnsdall, Oklahoma. Anita Bryant began singing from a young age. Do you know Anita Bryant? Do you remember this name?
Yeah.
Okay. She began singing from a young age, winning her first talent show at age 6. She gained national attention after becoming Miss Oklahoma in 1958, which landed her singing career. In the early 60s, Bryant had notable success in music with 3 top 20 hits: Till There Was You, Paper Roses, and my personal favorite, My Little Corner of the World. Everyone knows them. Sing along.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never heard of any of those.
I do them all the time at karaoke.
Those classic Anita Bryant pop hits.
Yes.
Her wholesome, all-American image resonated with audiences, making her a popular figure in both music and television. She performed at major venues, including the White House, and even entertained U.S. troops stationed overseas. Her career also included TV highlights on variety shows such as The Andy Williams Show and The Ed Sullivan Show. In 1969, Bryant became the spokeswoman for the Florida Citrus Commission. Here enters the oranges, famously declaring, "A day without orange juice is like a day without sunshine." Her famous endorsements helped to cement her image as a trusted, family-friendly figure, and she became a regular presence in American homes. This role significantly bolstered her fame, making her one of the most recognizable faces of the 1970s. However, Bryant's career took a dramatic turn in 1977 when she became involved in anti-LGBTQIA activism.
Oh.
Or as they back then, I think they just called them gay rights. In response to a Miami-Dade County ordinance that protected gay individuals from discrimination in employment and housing, Bryant launched the Save Our Children campaign. She argued that gay rights posed a moral threat to children and advocated for the ordinance's repeal. So basically, she wanted to strip gay people of any protections in employment or housing.
That's so fucked.
And her campaign ultimately achieved that. They won. This activism spurred backlash from LGBTQIA advocates who organized a national boycott of Florida orange juice products in protest. The Coalition for Human Rights and the Miami Victory Campaign organized a boycott of orange juice in opposition to Bryant and her campaign. Gay bars all over North America stopped serving screwdrivers and replaced them with the Anita Bryant cocktail, which was made with vodka and apple juice.
Oh, okay.
The boycott damaged Bryant's career, leading to the end of her contract with the Florida Citrus Commission in 1980. Could you imagine if, like, the Stonewall Inn became a chain? Like
Right.
Applebee's, like a gay Applebee's. And they just served, like, banana cream pie and Anita Bryant cocktails.
Yes.
Fabulous. So, enter Thomas Higgins, a prominent LGBTQIA activist in the Twin Cities area. He left a lasting impact on the fight for gay rights and the Pride movement. Born in 1950, Higgins' early life was marked by strong academic achievement and a religious education, yet he gravitated towards activism as a young man. After attending the University of North Dakota, he moved to the Twin Cities, where he became deeply involved in the gay rights movement of the late 1960s and 1970s. Higgins was part of a pioneering wave of activists pushing back against social and legal discrimination, and he gained national attention for his bold protests and acts. So we're getting to the good part. This is my favorite part. One of Higgins' most famous moments was his protest against Anita Bryant, a vocal opponent of gay rights. So Higgins, along with a group of other activists, attended a televised press conference in Iowa where Bryant was fielding questions about her plan to open a chain of Anita Bryant centers where homosexuals could go for rehabilitation.
Oh, how sweet.
That's
I
precious.
love conversion therapy.
Right. It works every time.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
It reminds me of that time I got baptized at 18. And that was like my last ditch effort. That was like my last hope that maybe I wouldn't be gay. I thought when I came up from the waters, I would be cleansed. Did I ever tell you that?
No.
Yeah,
But
fun fact.
yeah.
I mean, it's sort of embarrassing, honestly. I don't share it a lot, even though I just shared it with the world.
Yeah.
Out of the bag. At the event, during her speech, Higgins slammed a banana cream pie in her face.
Oh my God.
An act that became emblematic of the resistance of her rhetoric. Go watch the YouTube of this. It's so much fun. She's basically in shock for a moment before joking, "Well, at least it's a fruit pie." Her husband then began praying for Higgins with Bryant before she started crying. It's incredible. Go watch it. This event brought national attention to both Bryant's campaign and the growing LGBTQIA movement. As Higgins was being escorted from the event, Bryant's husband said, "I don't want him harmed in any way." Her husband later noticed one of the activists holding an unused pie and pressed it into his face in retaliation. A super Christ-like action.
Yes. Yes.
So It's a fun little event. Beyond this widely publicized act, Higgins' contributions to LGBTQIA activism were extensive and transformative. He was one of the first activists in Minnesota to embrace and spread the term gay pride, which he used to reframe the narrative around LGBTQIA identity and self-respect. This concept resonated nationally and became a powerful rallying cry that evolved into the pride movement that we know today. Higgins was also a founding member of several key LGBTQIA organizations, including FREE, which stands for the Fight Repression of Erotic Expression, those 70s, which worked to eliminate discrimination, organize community events, and advocate for gay rights. Higgins' activism included not only public demonstrations, but also efforts to build lasting support structures within the LGBTQIA community. He co-founded the Gay Imperative, a group dedicated to addressing spiritual and cultural needs within the LGBTQIA community, as well as the Church of the Chosen People, a gay pagan organization that aimed to challenge societal norms around religion and sexuality. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
So Anita Bryant's LGBTQIA activism overshadowed, I should say, her anti-LGBTQIA activism overshadowed her music and commercial career, and her personal life also began to suffer. In 1980, she divorced her husband, Bob Green, whom she had met in 1960 and with whom she had 4 children. The divorce was highly publicized and contentious, with Bryant citing Green's control and financial mismanagement as reasons. The end of her marriage hurt her financially, and she struggled with debt, leading her to file for bankruptcy twice, once in 1989 and again in 1997.
Good.
Yeah, basically her image was tarnished because, especially at that time, divorce was so frowned upon by the evangelical world that she was basically shunned by a large contingent of her own people.
Right. Because divorce was like so taboo back then.
Such a no-no.
Yeah. Now everyone does it.
I know. Hold while I take a wine pause.
Cheers to divorce.
Cheers. And to banana cream pie. In the later years of her life, Bryant shifted focus toward religious and charitable work. She founded Anita Bryant Ministries in an international and moved back to her home state of Oklahoma. I'm just so proud of my home state.
I know. Always so much good news coming out of there.
Yeah. Everything is just okay. Though her views and activism had led to a significant decline in public support, she continued to advocate for conservative Christian values. Her impact on LGBTQIA rights is remembered as one of the first major instances of organized anti-gay activism in the U.S., with a legacy that continues to influence social and political debates around LGBTQIA rights today. Bryant remains a divisive figure. Some view her as a cautionary example of the perils of mixing celebrity with activism, while others in conservative circles still regard her as a defender of traditional values. Quote, traditional values, love that. Despite the profound shifts in society and LGBTQIA rights over the decades, Bryant has reportedly maintained her views. In 2021, her granddaughter publicly shared her experiences coming out as bisexual to Bryant, noting that her grandmother still believes homosexuality to be an evil delusion. Quote, evil delusion. Now in her 80s, Bryant continues to live a quieter life, running her ministry in Oklahoma and remaining outside the public spotlight. You know, I'm going back to Tulsa for Christmas. Maybe I'll pop into the church and see what's going on. Get a selfie with Anita.
Show up there in your robe with or something. It's church. Everyone should be accepted. So
exactly. Turn the other cheek. I'll turn both of mine.
You can see both.
Yes. Bryant's rhetoric followed in the footsteps of previous campaigns by the Florida Legislative Investigation Committee, which in the 1950s and 60s targeted LGBTQIA individuals under the guise of protecting youth from, quote, deviance. Historians suggest that Bryant's success demonstrated the power of combining religious conservatism with a pro-family narrative, creating a model that would influence future right-wing movements. Though her campaign initially succeeded, it galvanized LGBTQIA activists nationwide, transforming the community into a more politically active voting bloc. Today, echoes of her campaign appear in recent legislation, such as Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. You remember that? Which opponents argue similarly seeks to marginalize LGBTQIA people under the guise of protecting children. Despite this, strides in gay rights continue, including the legalization of same-sex marriage and federal anti-discrimination protections. So, remember the moral majority. They disbanded back in 1989, with Falwell claiming its mission was complete. He remained a controversial figure, notably for comments after 9/11 suggesting that America's moral decline had provoked divine punishment, a statement he later retracted. So, you're sinners and you all brought this on.
Right.
Jesus is punishing us.
Yes.
Falwell continued to influence American religious and political life until his death in 2007. His efforts redefined the role of religion in American politics. His work with the moral majority legitimized the idea that evangelical Christians could and should use political power to enforce moral values. This strategy created a lasting coalition between the Republican Party and evangelical Christians, which continues to influence U.S. elections and policy debates today. Falwell's rhetoric often polarized as he framed moral and cultural issues in stark black and white terms. His bold proclamations, such as linking national tragedies like 9/11 to America's perceived moral failings, sparked both outrage and support. These tactics of moral framing and fear-based mobilization have since been adopted by other political figures and movements, reinforcing a deeply divided political environment. And finally, in the 1980s, Higgins extended his activism to support gay Cuban refugees who faced persecution, through the Cuban Refugee Task Force of Positively Gay. That's what it's called, Positively Gay. He helped mobilize Minneapolis's LGBTQIA community to sponsor and support refugees held in U.S. detention centers. This humanitarian work demonstrated his commitment to solidarity across borders and highlighted the intersection of gay rights with broader human rights concerns. Higgins' dedication to activism continued even as he pursued a career in nursing, showing his compassion and commitment to serving others in all facets of his life. He worked as a nurse until his death from AIDS-related complications in 1994, leaving behind a legacy of advocacy that influenced both local and national LGBTQIA movements. Today, his contributions are remembered as part of the foundation upon which modern gay rights and pride celebrations are built, inspiring new generations to continue the fight for equality and justice. And that was a very brief, not really true crime, but still very sweet story of banana cream pies and citrus fruit.
And the apple juice martini.
And apple juice. And my sources for this were a feature on pbs.org called God in America. And then ACLU North Dakota, an article by Cody J. Schuler from 2024. And an article from Frank Hennessy, August 1996, titled Tom L. Higgins, an inventory of his papers. And an NBC News article from Jillian Eugenios, spelling, April 2022. And then just a few fun little factoids from Anita Bryant's Wikipedia. So there you have it.
That was really interesting. It had both just infuriating and inspirational aspects to it.
Yeah, I was debating, because I was looking for something a little more true crime related, but I guess I just felt a personal draw to that one, and I was like, we'll just kick it off. And it was sort of fun.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a pie in the face?
Oh, of course.
Anita Bryant, that's who.
Yeah.
Or maybe her
Anita
ex-husband.
Bryant. Is she
But
still around? Or did we get to that?
yeah, she's just quietly living her life in Oklahoma at her church.
What if she went to your church? That would be so weird. I wonder how old she is.
How old is she? She is 84 years old.
Oh,
She'll be dying soon.
yes, for sure. At least I would be. Oh wait, I'm not going to live past 60. Is it 3 now? I'm on the down slope now. I hope my
Yeah.
mammogram was okay today.
For new listeners, if you're not familiar, America was given America.
Amanda.
Amanda was given
Hey, you know what? America and I might go at the same time. I don't know.
this could be. Yeah, Amanda was given basically just a few years to live by a former employer of ours who predicted her death at the age of 60.
Yes,
So
60. I'm on the downward slope. Once I hit 50, I've really got to rev things up because I got a lot to get in 10 years.
that's right. Well, you got a new bra. That's fun anyway.
Yeah,
Check that
yeah,
off your list.
yeah. Just got to show it off, a little more.
Is this Notori?
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm so brand loyal to them. But they
Yeah.
have just like really nice bras. You know what I mean? It's like
I do. I love their bras.
yeah, like when you find a brand of underwear that you completely love,
No,
you
not
haven't?
really. I'm afraid of commitment when it comes to underwear. I have so many hundreds of brands in my drawer. I just like to try new things.
Yeah.
Although I say that, but a lot of my drawer is tidy whities, which is what I'm wearing today. So,
Yeah.
so we're gonna record a double header. You're up
Yeah.
next.
Mm-hmm. Should I give 3 hints since we're going to
You
not
should.
do a
Yeah.
talk of shame this week?
Do you know what story you're doing next? Just kidding. It would be a rough one if you didn't.
Yeah. So my hints are Arkansas. So funny enough, we're both kind of going close to home. Arkansas, California, and rhinestones.
I hope Miss Dolly Parton's making an appearance, but I don't think she is.
Oh gosh, no, it's going to be a good one. It's wacky, but what religious things aren't a little wacky?
Right. And what major religious stories don't take place in Oklahoma or Arkansas?
I know, right? Oh God.
Oh my God. Speaking of religious experience, I'm gonna make this brief so we can jump over to the next thing. I went to Cyndi Lauper's farewell tour last night.
Mm.
It was so good, Amanda.
Was it? It looked like you may have had VIP like area tickets and stuff. And I saw that you tagged her in something and she reposted it
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
VIP area or something that you were in.
It was super fun. Yeah, I got VIP tickets. I spent way more money than I have to get them, but I've seen her over, I think I've told this, I've seen her over 20 times. I've lost track. But if this is my last chance, I'm going to go see her again this weekend in LA for much cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got 5th row. It's an arena tour. So it's like a really, it's a big stadium and we got 5th row. So I had really good seats. And we got access to the VIP cocktail lounge with photo ops. And her manager was down there. So also fun fact, I used to be a moderator on the Cyndi Lauper fan forum.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was called Page After Page. And so, yeah, so I know a lot about her, and I've been a huge fan of hers for years, obviously. So I recognized her manager who popped into the lounge for a few minutes. And, people were mostly leaving her alone, but there were a couple of us that recognized her. So I went over and said hi, and I got a photo with her. And
oh my God, I have to see this photo.
yeah, it was fun. Oh, maybe I'll put it up on YouTube. She
Is
was
she
sweet.
just like sweet? Yeah.
Yeah, she was very gracious. She's been her manager for basically as long as I've been a fan, so like 20 years. And the show was so good. Oh my
More
gosh.
like 30 years, probably.
Oh,
If you were a fan
yeah.
of hers in the 80s.
I forgot how old I am. Yeah, no, it's true. So it's been like 25 years since I've been like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've always liked her music, right? Like Goonies Are Good Enough, Time After Time, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, True Colors, I Drove All Night. I'm gonna keep listing all the hits.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until like 97, I think, when I became like a mega fan, like huge
Right.
fan. But anyway, if you get a chance, listener, if she's in your neck of the woods, get yourself a nosebleed. If you can't do the VIP package, it's worth it. The costume changes, the show was super entertaining. She's so funny. She's
Yeah.
like, I feel like a lot of times when you go to a major tour that's super like structured like that, there's not room for a lot of discussion or banter. It's pretty much like, here's a song, set up the next song, there's that song, and it just sort of goes like that.
Fit changed.
Yeah, she still found time to like interact with the crowd and make people laugh, and
Did she do like everything too? Like all her songs?
she did a lot of them. I wouldn't have changed. I mean, I would have, if I could add to it, I would have added a couple of songs. She didn't do All Through the Night,
Ah,
and then she didn't do anything from her amazingly underrated 2008 album Bring You to the Brink, which is like an amazing like dance pop album that was totally slept on. She worked with amazing producers on that. It's so good. If you like to work out, I don't, but if you do, it's a good album to work out to.
ah.
But anyway, yeah, it was super fun, super colorful, lots of energy, lots of people dressed up.
I didn't realize you were going this week. I knew you were going to LA, and I knew they had to have been close together because, she's already been out here. I think she played at the Hard Rock Stadium maybe, or was it the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino? I can't remember, but
It probably would have been the stadium.
yeah, but I missed it and I didn't have anyone to go with. I should have just gone by myself, I guess.
I should have flown out there and gone with you.
Yeah, that would have been probably a better idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm like,
Thanks a lot.
I know. I'm like, should I try and squeeze in some more Cindy concerts before the end? She's going to Japan.
Wow.
And I've never been to Japan. And I'm like, I don't have money for that, but it would be amazing to go to Japan and see Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah. Yeah. Should we talk about where people can find us? You can continue watching us here on YouTube or listening to us on Apple or Spotify. Apple for podcasters at The Forbidden Pod. You can see us on social media, on Twitter, YouTube, I guess I can reiterate, Facebook and TikTok at The Forbidden Pod. Write in your feedback, your shame, any sort of story ideas to hello, and send nudes, obviously, to hello@theforbiddenpod.com. And be sure to check out our website. We have links to all of the episodes, all platforms of the episodes. If you have like one that tickles your fancy on the website, you can go straight to your mode of choice for listening. So I think I've covered it. It's www.theforbiddenpod.com.
Oh, and you'll definitely want to check out our new photo shoot for this series.
Yeah, the photo shoot's going to be really good.
It's basically our Christmas card to you, our loyal listeners.
Yes.
You're welcome, or also maybe we're sorry.
We're not sure. I think we're going to be on Santa's bad list this year.
Definitely on the Pope's bad list.
Yeah. Any Catholic's bad list.
Yes.
We might get hate mail. Fine,
Yeah.
send that. At least it would be some mail.
Yeah, send us something.
Yeah. Well, Blake, as always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for that very informative story. I knew nothing about any of that, actually.
Yeah, I didn't know too much about it either. So,
yeah,
like I said, go to YouTube and watch that video. It's so fun.
Yeah. And listeners, we always thank
you.